Permission to touch you, sir.
Yeah.
I feel that the culture has lost its identity, and the brand is visual reputation. This interview,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to show the people you have no choice.
Got it.
It will be unfortunate.
Got it. Okay. So
Just be you.
just be me.
Whatever comes out as you.
All right. Fair enough.
Good morning, my fellow grinders. We're here this morning with the founder of the DJ Museum in Las Vegas, Mr. Sam Maxion. How you doing this morning, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you for this opportunity. Greatly appreciate it.
Oh, we really thank you. Thanks for inviting us out into your home. The DJ Museum is certainly a place where you can come to learn a lot about the culture and being a DJ, where it all started from. And we just love the fact that you let us come in and get this interview with you. So I really appreciate this. For those who don't know, the DJ Museum had its grand opening a couple of weeks ago, located at 3507 South Maryland Parkway here in Las Vegas. And we're just happy to have this moment to sit down with Sam and just talk and have a couple of questions. So first thing is, can you introduce yourself to the folks and those that are watching the interview? Give us a little background about yourself and where you're from.
Yeah. My name is Sam Maxion, and I also go by the name of DJ Slammin' Sam. And I've been involved in the industry over 35 years on every level, including the whole DJ aspect. And I evolved into becoming a producer, remixer as well. And just been experienced with every facet of the DJ culture. It's been an incredible ride, and so many things have happened through this journey, and it's all led up to this incredible passion project of mine, which is the DJ Museum.
Now, when I saw the flyer for the DJ Museum to open here in Las Vegas, I was talking to my wife and I was like, I gotta be there. I gotta be there. Sharing the field with you as well as being a DJ myself, I knew this was something that was long overdue. It's been a point where the DJ has been or had to take at some points kind of like a step back from everything else in the culture. And we actually keep that music playing, keep it in people's ears and things of that nature. So my first question to you, who was the first DJ that actually had a big impact on you to actually get into DJing?
That is a great question. And to be honest with you, I don't know that name. However, I could tell you the situation that I was involved in. I was probably like 10 years old at this wedding, and I went to the backstage area. I got lost. I was trying to find a restroom. And next thing you know, I started stepping up onto the stage where this DJ was playing 45 7-inch records. And I just got so mesmerized, not because he was playing the records, because he was cleaning them with this like cleaner cylinder thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just doing it so methodically that I said, wow, that seems like a lot of fun. And that was the seed that planted everything. But that really is not necessarily a DJ playing moment,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a DJ environment that inspired me to start getting interested in the whole DJ realm from that standpoint. But yeah, it was pretty interesting to reflect on that. But that was the case.
And so, did you get started back there making mixtapes, or what was the first piece of equipment that you purchased?
I purchased just one of those like mix match turntable setups where you would have a Fisher brand or a regular belt driven turntable. And let's face it, the realistic mixer that everyone would get from Radio Shack, because that was the only place that you could get a mixer that would interface with those two turntables. It was truly out of this world. the setup as far as being able to enjoy it and start the seed of DJing the way I felt I wanted to start, especially when you're a little kid,
Hmm.
because you don't have all the resources, you don't have all the money, and but you still want to DJ, and that was a fundamental part of what I wanted to do, was just have equipment and get started some way.
I think that holds true because when I started making the mixtapes for the friends and then passing it around the neighborhood, and then your name gets out there, and then they figure out who you are.
Oh, that came much later.
That came later.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about it. How did you transition from the first time that you got on some turntables, starting to get your ear for mixing, and bring us forward to the mixtape and how your first performance went?
Yeah, basically, you go from the mix match turntables into something more solidified, which is the Techniques, which is the most notable model, the 1200s. Once I got that, then I felt that I could start really doing something. Uh, but that started evolutionizing the whole like professional aspect of the mixtape for
Hmm.
me. But if we really go back, I started recording stuff off the radio, off of FM radio, and create like a collage of recordings on tape. And sometimes I would create certain mixes on the mixtape based on using the pause button. And if you guys don't know that, there's a section here in the museum that talks about the pause mix edit method. And you have to have a pause button on your recorder that stops it at the exact point, and when you release it, it starts up, and it creates this do-it-yourself edit element of mixing, and it was pretty cool because you could do some incredible stuff. And I do have my pause mix recordings still intact and the cassettes from that period. But that was truly the very beginning of the whole mixtape era for me. And then it started becoming something that I could create with 4 tracks and have much more uh, mega mix style of mixtapes. But yeah, it pretty much, I'm a well rounded mixtape guy. Let's put it to you that way.
Hopefully, we could hear those here at the DJ Museum if they're still, if you have them somewhere on tap. Maybe you can play them for the guests one day. I would love to hear them.
Oh, yes, that would be definitely a charm to present the actual mixtapes.
Now, you brought up an interesting point, especially when you're talking about the pause mix. I've used that several times myself, probably not to the level that you have and mastered it at that point. But as far as creating mixes back then and getting into making music, started out the 4 track back then, went to the 8 track, 12. Of course, you can do less with less tracks. We've seen some and heard some amazing music come out of hip hop just on 4 track recorders. And it's interesting how they talk about it and how they had to loop it and cut tape and just different things. But being on the other side too, as a producer, how do you think it's gotten better? Do you think some of the production style that was in an industry back then is still useful now, or do you think people have lost that ear where it's just a little bit more simple and they really don't really get into the niche of production like we used to, if that makes any sense?
It makes perfect sense, and I'll answer that very candidly. Today, with AI, it's made everything that much more easier for a 6-year old to create an adult track just by typing it in or talking into their phone. Um, and that is where we're heading, is that simpler type of uh, creation, which is not what I grew up on. We grew up on what you're mentioning, 4 tracks, reel to reels, a very organic way of creating music that would be reflective of personalities in the studio. And it's unfortunate, but that is technology today that allows us to advance and create music faster, create music that is, it would take weeks to make in minutes. And that's just where we're at. But getting to your question, it is different today. However, not everyone's using AI. And those are the ones I like to connect with because they still have a very core essence of what music should be, whether it's being a lyricist, vocalist, producer, remixer. That is what I feel uh, will bring out the very best. And part of the DJ Museum's mission is to show the old school way of doing things. And it connects with the old school way of doing production, of songwriting, and remixing. So uh, that's something I'm fundamentally behind to preserve, uh, not just with the DJ stuff, but with the music stuff in general.
I totally agree with you because adversity and trying to figure something out can bring out the best creativity in you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think early on in hip hop and coming up now, we've seen that. So the AI will make it a little bit easier. I do agree, but it's the evolution of music, like you were stating before, and I'm kind of interested to see where it goes to. So with that, yeah, that's. Thank you for responding to that because I like to ask the OGs of how they feel about
And I take it you consider me an OG.
I do. You started all this thing. You started all this. You're one of the originals. So yeah.
The OGs that they would come in and say, wow, I remember seeing this. I remember the milk crates that I used to take from Lucky's and Safeway in the back to store my records. So that story essence is very important for me to put on display, especially that I've gone through it and seen the ins and outs, the good and bad, and have that story told through the displays and exhibits and memorabilia. And that's the exciting part of it. We are in a stage where preservation of the old school way of DJing needs to be heard and needs to be put out. And I feel this is the right time to do that. And my ideas for a museum didn't come like right away. It was something that had to be totally thought over to make sure that it wasn't uh, an ideal that was just, hey, let's do it and see what happens. I wanted to make sure that it was something that was fundamentally ready for this period in time, for the community, for the culture, and most of all, for the people to accept and feel that this is something that they want to check out.
I know the word's getting out. Have you heard from other DJs from other states of people that's dropped in like, yo, this is amazing. Hey, how can I contribute? What's going on? I'm sure you've gotten feedback already.
Oh, it has been tremendous. And I have to give much credit to a lot of the DJs that were supporting at the very onset of the project. They know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many of them. And they planted the seed to let other DJs know because I don't have all the resources. I have a great team that has an extended amount of contacts DJ wise that I would never have. And I lean on them to get the word out. And then those DJs thus get the word out even further. I've had probably dozens every hour, just DJs just wanting to get involved in some capacity. And luckily, getting back to the whole AI thing, I kind of implemented that for the inboxes, so I don't have to do it individually. So it doesn't like
smart.
It doesn't like there's a regular person, but it's an AI. But there's limitations with that. However, it's good to know that the DJs are responding to it, and I understand that there is a balance because some of the old school DJs, the OGs, they have lives as everyone else does. As you get older, you have family, you have kids, you have jobs, you have that focus. The younger generation, they're the ones that are hungry and they're the ones that want to get involved even more. So there's a balancing act between the two generations that is exciting because you want to get the youth and the younger DJs involved and teach them the old school way so they can know, hey, you don't have to rely on the grid on the computer. You can rely on your ear to match the beats. And the OGs, they may want to get back into it. They're saying, hey, this is cool. I never was able to mix this because it wasn't on vinyl. But now I can mix it and it sounds much more better. So we could bring that aspect into the whole reintroduction of the old school to the OGs that have possibly retired because they thought it was only on vinyl that they could get the song. And I've seen that evolution with the OGs, and it's pretty humbling because they would say, "Oh, I had the album version, but it didn't sound right, and now that album version sounds more punchier. It makes me want to just get back into it."
Mm-hmm.
And then they find out, "Oh my goodness, I don't have to carry crates of records. Everything's on the laptop." So again, it's a catch-22. I think there's always room for everyone to get involved with the DJ community and the DJ world. It's just where you feel you're comfortable with.
I love the way that you're embracing the old school with the new school. One thing I noticed when we were walking around on the grand opening, right here, actually right outside of where we're interviewing at, there's a live Twitch or streaming area for the DJ. So I want everybody to know that when you come down to the DJ museum, it's just not, you're going to see 808s and just different things. You're actually bringing all generations together, and you want this to be a place where everybody's embraced. And I really love that. Now, with that comes new mediums, as you talked about before. Now you can stream and connect your crates from Spotify and Tidal and things of that nature. How do you feel about streaming nowadays? I'm one that love to buy my music, but I also like the balance of streaming. So how do you feel about that new technology?
I think it has its place. But again, we go back to the purpose of the DJ Museum is to let everyone know that there was a place where you had to go physically and buy tangible media, which is the vinyl records. Spend hours in these shelves trying to find the records that you want and just enjoying that whole aspect of connecting with that moment. Now it's just looking at characters on a screen and then saying, I want to download this, I want to download that. And that's fine. And again, we revert back to technology and its advancement. It's just the tools that we have to work with. However, we can't forget how everything evolved. And that's the important thing about the DJ Museum is that we're going to present that education of record stores and playlists and the top 20 of this week that you could buy the vinyl. That in itself is an important aspect of DJing that I feel everyone that's downloading now should know. To me, downloading and getting the music digitally is fine. And I feel it makes things a lot easier. And you could instantaneously make an individual happy if that request isn't on your laptop or streaming at the point. You could just go ahead and search it and boom. And next thing you know, someone's somber moment is now excitement because you now have that song. So in that aspect, it is incredible to have that resource. And I feel that we just have to let everyone know about how everything began with record stores and record pools and the tangible media that was once there.
Now, you're a DJ, you're also in music, so I got to ask you this. I think I ask in every interview I do. What's your top 5?
Top 5 favorite songs of all time?
Songs, groups, duos. It could be a mix and match. When it comes down to music in your ear, what's your top 5 that you would throw on?
That is such a loaded question, James.
I know it is.
It's hard to answer that.
It is because
as a DJ that is open format, and as you know, open format means everything. It's really tough, and I can't even point out five that would be suffice and fair because it's just such a vast array. Um, and there could be some curveballs in there that you're like, wait a second, Sam, you can't even mix that, but you like that. And that's the thing. That's how I am. I'm very eccentric with my listening ear because I feel when you're able to have a very open genre of listening, your IQ goes up. Not to say that people that just listen to hip hop or reggaeton or EDM aren't as IQ ridden. I'm just stating a fact that if you open up your palette to different genres, you'll start seeing so many incredible similarities of the music being able to make your hair stand on your skin. And when that happens, it doesn't matter what kind of music it is. You don't even have to understand it. I I play a lot of reggaeton, and unfortunately, I kept skipping class Spanish in high school. That's on me. However, when I play it, I know what song works because I could feel it in my bones. And when I could feel it in my bones and the crowd is enjoying it, I I just play it. And I have really no clue what he or she is saying. And it's a wonderful thing because now it's all about the vibration of the music and the emotion that it's instilling on the listener. And to me, that's all that matters. So, getting back to your question, James, I wouldn't even think about answering that question to be fair. And uh, yeah, because it would always change. I would tell you top five now, and then an hour later, I'll say, hey, I
But
changed
you
my
know,
mind.
that's the beautiful thing, Sam. That list changes for me all the time. It
Exactly.
depends on what mood you're on, what you're listening to.
Correct.
So I have to agree with you on that. But you know, I had to give it a try. I had to see if you could
Hey,
nail down at least
hey,
a
that's
couple.
what an interviewer has to do. Pull me in. Pull me in.
My mom used to tell me growing up, you made a good point, is that when you're amongst different people and you're walking in life, you have to be able to maintain several different conversations across several different platforms. I relate that to the music that you say you play being open format because now you can have several different conversations while people are enjoying the music on the dance floor and your palette has opened up. I find myself mixing everything from George Michael to Air Supply, Phil Collins, bringing it back to uh, King T, Ice Cube, and anyone else that you can put in there. And just knowing the ear, we've listened to these songs so much. We know those right breaks and opportunities to create. I want to know from you, are you going to have something here at the DJ Museum to introduce that type of DJing or a class to those that want to get into DJing?
That's a very good question. Right now, I'm working on DJ workshops for the focus on the early development of DJing, showing them how it got started and so forth, but also working in the technology that we have today, i.e., controllers. And these classes are going to be built around how the DJ came about. And we would then go into various angles of the DJ, especially the mixing technique, the song selection technique, the crowd control technique, and just the overall business side of things. So these workshops are going to be built around that concept. And I'm very excited about that. I have DJs that I'm working hand in hand with those setups, and I'm looking forward to how that's going to play out in the future.
When there's going to be people contacting you and they say, I want to help contribute and I want to help. What's your mission statement for the DJ Museum? What are what help are you looking for? What attitude should someone have? And I don't mean that to pin anybody, to eliminate anybody. I'm saying people need to know where your mind is and, hey, I want this to grow and this is what I'm looking for.
Right.
If you had to put that out there, what would be your couple of things you want to inform some folks of?
Yeah. First and foremost, what is your intention? If you're here for the community, or you're here for sharing your knowledge in a very giving way, that's my focus to bring you in. Several DJs have thankfully understood that mindset, and that's who I would like to have on board. And then you get individuals with a different agenda, and that's fine. But for the museum, first and foremost, it would be more community based, what you're able to contribute. And because there is a component of the museum that's nonprofit, I like to see where you're serving into that direction. And that to me is the most important thing. So, yeah, they have to have a good heart. They have to have a long term understanding of what we're trying to do with the museum, which is to educate and inform the public about the pioneer period of DJing. But we also are creating a platform that will educate and inspire everyone across all ages. And that's the exciting part, is knowing that whoever's going to be on board is going to be part of that mission statement that I'm putting together for the DJ Museum.
Where can we find you spinning at? I noticed, see, I follow you on Twitch too. So you got to see him on his Twitch channel. But where can we find you? What's your handles? Where other DJs, other people can hear the music that you're putting out? Please let us know where we can catch you at, especially here if you're going to be spinning here at the DJ Museum.
Yeah. So as far as my normal residency, I am over at Aliante Casino Resort, over at inside of ETA Lounge, every Saturday from 8 till midnight. So yeah, I was just there. And as far as streaming, you could catch me on Twitch, on my Twitch channel at I Am Slammin'. And I stream once a week. And it's normally like a 3-hour stream, but it's been kind of inconsistent due to what's happening here in the museum. But you could follow me on all my socials for all those schedulings, because I normally put out a calendar early part of the week, so you'll know what's coming up. And that's at Instagram, I Am Slammin' Sam. And if you want to see a whole bunch of stuff, just Google me. And just type in Slammin' Sam Maxion, and then the floodgates open.